Number 7, a category called French. I studied French at high school for 4 years after my dad introduced me to it in primary school, and ever since I have loved anything to do with France and Paris. When I went to see my son in England, I had 2 days alone in Paris. I actually ended up lost because the bus tour I was on, everybody had chosen the 1-day option and I was the only one that picked 2. So I ended up all alone. But it was quite an adventure and I survived. And I got to go out the 2nd day, which was great, and walk around and find my way. And I saw a lot of very interesting things. It actually snowed at the Eiffel Tower. The people that worked there, however, were on strike, and so there was no going up to the top and no seeing it lit up at the night time. And for those of you who listen to my dolly videos, you'll know that I often give my dolls French names, and I have quite a collection of French bits and pieces and things from Paris that I've collected over the years. Number 8, collections. I absolutely despise the term hoarder. I am a lots of person. I don't mind being called eccentric, but I think hoarding implies all sorts of other horrible things. I tend to find it difficult to throw things away because I have memories attached to them all. So I do have a lot of possessions, but they're all very special and they make me happy now, and I'm sure they'll make others happy in the future. I collect miniature pianos. I have had stamps, Yowies, which were an Australian chocolate that had a little animal inside. We have a lot of those. Snoopy's from McDonald's, all kinds of dolls and bears, buttons, books, magazines, china, especially Royal Albert china, various cups and saucers and teapots. And of course, as part of the dolly hobby, there are extra things included: prams and cots, bassinets, dummies, passies, bottles, all sorts of things like that. I love storing things in clear glass jars, and it was actually my mum's idea to do that, though she wasn't herself a collector. It was my dad who was. Number 9, jobs. Since I was a little girl, I wanted to be a mother and a doctor. I played a little toy piano from age 5 and then got a real one at 7, and so music was always there in my life too. I was a straight A student in primary school and most of high school, although I struggled a bit at the end. I was sick for a couple of months with a ruptured appendix and missed a lot of school, so I did my final year of high school twice in order to get into medicine. But when you repeat, they penalise your marks 10%, and so I still didn't get in. I studied English, maths, chemistry, biology, geology, French, and music privately. I used to work in a supermarket variety store in the children's shoe section, and I loved that. I did a lot of babysitting, did some piano teaching because my dad used to bring people home for me to teach. I was a Girl Guide brownie leader for a little while. I worked in a sandwich bar. I always remember one lovely man would come in and always ask for a peanut butter and mashed banana sandwich. When I didn't get into medicine, I studied science at university for a couple of months, but it wasn't what I wanted, so I left and did nursing. I didn't stay there very long either, but I did ace my subjects while I was there, and the teachers told me that I was the only person to get 100% in written and fail practical, because I used to spend too much time talking to the patients and making sure they were okay instead of getting the job done. I then worked in an office. It was a mining share registry, so I got to look at certificates with names on it day in and day out, and I love that. I think that's where my obsession with naming my dolls began. I actually got the name for our daughter's middle name from one of those certificates, and that's Millicent. I was for most of the time a full-time mum until our youngest were about 2, and I had a couple of music students on the weekend, and then by the time they were 5 I had a few more, and my husband would take them for a walk while I did some piano teaching. I promised my mum before she was gone that I'd get my piano fixed and return to playing regularly, and I did that. I found a teacher that I've only just finished with after 12 years, and I got some qualifications, and now I'm a studio piano teacher, and I teach theory and kinderbeat early childhood as well. I've also done a baby massage course to teach parents how to massage their babies. I've played the piano for a ballet school, churches, school choir, playgroups, weddings. I accompany instrumentalists for exams, and I've been in musicals with my youngest sons. Number 10, hobbies, activities and likes. I love family gatherings, especially outside where everybody's got space to move and run and play. I like picnics and that sort of thing. I love memorising. So I memorise my doll names. I used to know the books of the Bible by heart, the Academy Award winners from the beginning of time. I love to memorise children's stories. There was one called The Giant Jam Sandwich that I used to recite to the children while they looked at the book. I love my Nintendo DS brain training games and a fun game called Germ Buster. I'm totally addicted to that. I of course love dolls and bears, and I play the piano. I love to write and take photos and look and sort through photos. Love scrapbooking, family history, sewing, which I used to do a lot of. I made my wedding dress and our daughter's christening gown. I used to do a lot of knitting, jumpers for myself and the children. Some crochet, I taught myself how to do that. Cooking, I used to do very often, but not so much anymore. I'm quite famous for my mini quiche, and that's probably all I get done now, and some decorated cupcakes. I love spring cleaning and sorting through things. It's a very slow process here because I stop and remember along the way. I love shopping, especially to markets and garage sales and thrift stores. I really like recycling and finding old treasures to give them another life. I love walking on the beach and collecting shells, and I'm always on the lookout for heart-shaped stones. I love organising parties with themes, and I've done a lot in my time. I like to decorate, so I decorate our veranda for Halloween and our bay window for Christmas. And I enjoy gardening, though I don't do much of that anymore either. When I was teen and when we first married, I was in the African Violet Society. They don't grow very well where we live now, though. And my absolute favourite flowers are pink roses, and I had them in our wedding, and red geraniums that I have anywhere I can put them. Now, I just want to add to this, a long time ago when I was just a quite young teen, my dad had a business friend visit from the USA to Australia, and he said something to me, or actually he wrote it in my autograph book, and it stayed with me forever. And he wrote, "You made a stranger feel like a friend. That is a wonderful talent." And that's how I feel about everybody that I've met through this hobby and through having a YouTube channel. And I hope that my family too will listen to some of these things down the track. It's a very interesting way now of being able to keep family history. So thanks for listening.